They say the world is your oyster when you're young. But honestly, who wants to eat an oyster alone? So I grabbed my favorite people, and together we set out to see how just big this world can be.
Maligayang pagdating sa Singapore.
We're now on our way to get our luggage. And after that, we're going straight to the Jewel. Every time I travel to a new place, I always catch myself thinking how amazing it would be if my family could be there too, marveling at the same sights right beside me. We never really got to travel much when I was still living in the Philippines, so it's always been a dream of mine to explore new places together with them. And now, that dream is finally a reality. Honestly, it feels surreal, almost like we're living in someone else's story. Growing up, vacations were never really a priority in our household. Not because we didn't want to go, but because if we could save money for something more essential, we would. And let's be real, vacations rarely make the cut. But over time, I've realized that life is short. Holding on so tightly to money you might never even get the chance to spend can make all those sacrifices feel pointless. My parents are getting older, and I want them to see just how big and beautiful this world truly is. This trip is especially meaningful because it's a huge milestone for my dad, because it's his first ever international trip. And being able to witness him experience all of this for the first time, that's something I'll treasure forever. Being in my 20s is weird. I'm still figuring out life, probably broke half of the time, but this is also the freest I'll ever be. It's that sweet spot where I'm old enough to hop on a plane without asking for permission, but still young enough to get excited over the simplest things. It's honestly hilarious when you think about it. Like, what do you mean I'll happily walk 20,000 steps a day just to save on cab fare, only to splurge on food and random cute stuff right after? Tired from all that exploring? Nope, better get up. We didn't come all this way just to lounge in a hotel room. Being a little clueless is half the fun. Ordering food by pointing at mystery pictures, getting completely lost on public transport, accidentally blowing the day's budget on trinkets I absolutely do not need. That's the 20s travel starter pack. More than anything though, it teaches you to roll with the punches, to laugh when plans fall apart, to stay curious and to realize the world is so much bigger and honestly, a little bit weirder than you ever imagined. So if there's ever a time to get out there and explore, it is now, before your back starts hurting for absolutely no reason. Traveling with my family made me see the world twice. Once through my eyes, and second through their lens. It hit me that they were once in their 20s too, probably dreaming of moments just like this. Watching them light up over new places feels like catching a glimpse of who they might have been if they'd had these chances when they were younger. And it's not just my parents in this trip. I'm also traveling with my uncle, aunt, and cousin, which makes this even more special. Getting all of us together like this is so rare. It feels like a tiny miracle in itself. Originally, this trip was only supposed to be for me and my parents. But my mom was like, the more the merrier. She was so right. There's just something about exploring new places, surrounded by family, sharing laughs, trying weird food together, making inside jokes that we'll probably bring up for years. This trip was pretty much planned by me and my cousins, so we still managed to squeeze in all our must-see spots, while also making sure it was comfortable enough for the oldies. Honestly, we were fully prepared for them to start complaining about all the walking or the heat. But surprise, surprise, they didn't. Instead, they gave us their full trust, went along with all of our plans, and that made the whole trip so much easier and way more fun. People always say, the world is your oyster. And sure, it sounds dreamy, but let's be real, it's also a massive privilege. Not everyone can afford trips, deal with visa applications, or has the kind of freedom it takes to just pack up and explore someplace new. I think about that a lot. About how lucky we are to wander foreign streets, buy food purely because we want to try it, or snap countless photos just for the memories. These are things that might seem small, but they're actually huge gifts. And it's something I never want to take for granted. When I was younger, I couldn't help but feel a little jealous of friends who got to go on family vacations. Of course, I understood why my parents couldn't take us. They had other priorities and they always did their best. But at the same time, I was just a kid who dreamed of what it would be like to explore somewhere else. Now that I finally have the privilege and the means to do this, I'm even more grateful that I get to bring my parents along with me. I worked hard to get here, and I plan to keep working hard so I can create even more memories with them. Because at the end of the day, these experiences, they're worth every effort, every late night spent chasing deadlines, just so someday we could chase sunsets together instead. So yeah, the world is my oyster, and I'm gonna keep cracking it open one family trip at a time. If you can, travel while you're young. Travel with people you love. It doesn't have to be a fancy Euro trip. It could be exploring a neighboring country like we did, or even discovering hidden spots in your own town. Just be present, take it all in, savor all the meals, and laugh at all the mistakes. Because years from now, it's not the receipts that you're gonna remember. It's how you accidentally rode on the wrong bus, how you cried over a very spicy food, or how you didn't get your blind box pick.
We are now riding cable car, Genting Highlands.
Since Singapore and Malaysia are our neighbors, I expected to see some familiar things that reminded me of home. The food, the warmth of the people, little customs here and there. You start noticing the little details. The way people greet each other, the blend of languages spoken on the streets, the unique mix of traditions and modern life coexisting side by side. It's like stepping into a familiar song with a completely new rhythm. And when you really immerse yourself, not just as a tourist snapping photos, but by tasting local dishes with an open mind, chatting with strangers, trying to understand their stories, that's when travel becomes truly transformative. It teaches you empathy, patience, and curiosity. Sometimes it's these cultural exchanges, the unexpected conversations, the shared laughs despite language barriers, the moments of quiet respect that leave the biggest mark on your heart. So, here's to seeing the world with fresh eyes, here's to sharing it with the people who matter most, and here's to being endlessly grateful for the chance to do it all. I'd love to hear from you guys. Where's one place you've always dreamed of going with your family or friends? Or maybe a memory you'll treasure forever? Drop your stories in the comments below, and I can't wait to read them. Thank Thank you so much for coming along this journey with me, and see you on my next one.